Hello students, this is the second part of the circulatory system, the heart. Hope you have understood the first part which I have uploaded, and you understand this second part. And if you have any doubts, please feel free to contact me. And in this part we'll be discussing about the circulation of the heart and various other cardiac cycle, the condition system of the heart. Hope you understand it, and if you have any doubts, please feel free to contact me. Thank you. So now here we can see different types of circulation in our body. There are mainly four types, and first one is the systemic circulation. The systemic circulation, what does it do is it provides blood supply to all the body tissues. It carries oxygen and nutrients to the cells, and it picks up carbon dioxide and waste products. Next is the pulmonary circulation. As you say pulmonary, it is related to the lungs. So the pulmonary circulation is the portion of the circulatory system which carries deoxygenated blood away from the right ventricle to the lungs and returns oxygenated blood to the left atrium and ventricles of the heart. Next is the coronary circulation. So the coronary circulation is a circulation of blood in the blood vessels that supply the heart muscle. So as we discussed before, myocardium, which is one of the layer of the heart, which consists of cardiac muscles. So the veins and the arteries that supply that region is known as the coronary circulation. Next is the portal circulation. It is the system in which all the blood from the gastrointestinal tract is taken to the liver. That system is known as the portal circulation system. Here the systemic and pulmonary circulation we'll discuss now. So the heart pumps blood into two closed circuits with each heartbeat. So that one, it goes into the systemic, another one goes into the pulmonary circulation. So whatever is the output of the systemic circulation, it becomes as the input of the pulmonary circulation and vice versa. So whatever is the output of pulmonary circulation, it becomes the input for the systemic circulation. In a short while we will see it with diagrams. The systemic circulation provides the functional blood supply to all body tissues, as we have discussed this earlier. The pulmonary circulation is the portion of the circulatory system which carries deoxygenated blood away from the right ventricle to the lungs and returns oxygenated blood to the left atrium and ventricles of the heart. So as we already discussed, the right side of the heart receives deoxygenated blood, means that is less in oxygen and more in carbon dioxide. And the left side of the heart receives oxygenated blood, that means the blood contains a lot of oxygen, or it is oxygen rich. Since systemic exchange of gases takes place in the capillaries through the process of diffusion. So if you look at this picture here, you can see there is the tissue and cells. It will diffuse carbon dioxide into the capillaries, and the oxygen from the capillaries will go into the tissue and cells. So that's how the exchange of the carbon dioxide and oxygen is taking place. So here the blood through artery, the oxygenated blood will come, and in capillaries, this region, the capillaries, what happens, there is an exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. The used carbon dioxide will go into the capillaries, and the oxygen from the capillaries will go into the tissue and cell. This is the flow chart or a schematic diagram for the blood flow from the lungs to the left side of the heart, and from the veins to the right side of the heart and to the lungs. So we'll discuss this further. This is just for your understanding. This diagram has been put up. So now we will discuss the flow of blood through the heart. As all of you know that the heart is divided into four chambers: the right atrium, the right ventricle, left atrium, and the left ventricle. So in this picture you can see two colors, that is, one is a bluish shade and another one is a reddish shade. So bluish shade means the blood is deoxygenated, means it contains less oxygen, or contains more of carbon dioxide. The left side of the heart, it is of reddish color because it contains blood which has more oxygen or oxygenated blood. Okay, so the blood, deoxygenated blood from upper part of the body is collected and brought into the right atrium through the superior vena cava, and the blood from the lower part of the body is collected and brought into the right atrium through the inferior vena cava. Once the right atrium is full, the blood is pumped into the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve, and once the right ventricle is full, it is again pumped into the So from the right ventricle, the blood is pumped into the pulmonary artery through the pulmonic valve. So the pulmonary artery, as the name suggests, pulmonary means related to lungs. So pulmonary artery, we have two lungs, that's the right and the left lung. So the pulmonary artery is going to divide into two, that is the left pulmonary artery and the right pulmonary artery. The left pulmonary artery will take the blood to the left lungs, and the right pulmonary artery will take the blood to the deoxygenated blood to the right lungs. So once it reaches the lungs, what happens? The blood will get oxygenated through capillary exchange and gas exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen that you will be learning in respiratory system. After that, once the blood is oxygenated, it is brought back into the left atrium through the left pulmonary vein and the right pulmonary vein. It will enter the left atrium. Once it reaches the left atrium, it will go into the left ventricle through the bicuspid valve. Once it reaches the bicuspid valve, the contraction of the heart takes place and the blood is pumped into the aorta through the aortic valve, and from the aorta the blood is supplied to all the body parts, the oxygen blood, and from there it goes to the upper body as well as to the lower body and to different tissues for its proper metabolism and function. So once again I will explain to you the flow of blood through the heart. So this is just a pictorial representation. It is not the real anatomy of the heart. The anatomy of the heart was discussed in the previous slide. So this is just for your understanding. So as you all know that the heart is divided into four chambers: the right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium and the left ventricle. So the right atrium and the right ventricle, or the right side of the heart, contains deoxygenated blood, and the left side of the heart contains oxygenated blood. So how does the blood flow through the heart? So our body, from the upper body and the lower body, because heart is situated in the center position. So from the upper body and the lower body, the deoxygenated blood is coming into the right atrium through the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. From there, the blood goes into the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve. From the right ventricle, the blood is pumped into the pulmonary artery, which again divides into two, that is the right and the left pulmonary artery, and the blood is taken into the lungs for oxygenation. Once the blood is oxygenated, this blood from the lungs is coming back from the lungs into the left atrium through two right pulmonary vein and two left pulmonary vein. So the blood reaches the left atrium. From there, the blood will go into the left ventricle, crossing the bicuspid valve. Okay, these valves which are there in our body, these are one-way valves, so it cannot go back. The blood, once it flows from left atrium to left ventricle, the blood will not return from the left ventricle to the left atrium because it is a valve. Valves close it. That is the function of valves. Okay, from the left ventricle, the blood is pumped into the aorta through the aortic valve and to the rest of the body. So the body will get the oxygenated blood, and the oxygen blood is used, and again the deoxygenated blood that is produced is from the body is again collected by the superior and inferior vena cava and brought back into the right atrium, and the cycle will continue. So the next circulation we are seeing is the coronary circulation. So what does coron means? Crown. Okay, coron means what? Crown. So crown is where it's kept on your head. It is on top of the head. So whatever is on top of the heart, the arteries and veins that are covering or on top of the heart, they are known as the coronary circulatory system. So the coronary arteries encircle the heart like a crown encircles the head. The coronary arteries branch from the ascending aorta. The blood is pumped to the coronary artery into the capillaries into coronary veins. Coronary circulation is a circulation of blood in the blood vessels that supply the heart muscle, that is the myocardium. Coronary arteries supply oxygenated blood to the heart muscle, and cardiac coronary veins drain away the blood once it has been deoxygenated. So this is the figure of the coronary circulation. So here on the left side you can see here, these are the coronary arteries. These are the coronary arteries which supply oxygenated blood to the myocardium, and once the coronary artery supplies oxygen blood, there is at the capillary level there is diffusion, and there is exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. And in this diagram on the right, these are the coronary veins which carry the deoxygenated blood back into the right atrium. So the name of the different coronary arteries are mentioned here: left main coronary artery, right coronary artery, circumflex coronary artery, and left anterior descending coronary artery. And the coronary veins, they are the great cardiac vein, anterior cardiac vein, middle cardiac vein, coronary sinus, small cardiac vein. Okay, so all of you might have heard about heart attacks or myocardial infarctions. So when the arteries, so these coronary arteries, when there is a block, when the blood is blocked, okay, when there is a block in any one of the arteries or in multiple arteries, it can lead to what? Heart attacks, because there is no oxygen supplied to the heart muscles, so it will not allow the heart to pump. So because of that, what will happen? The person will have what? Heart attack. So next we'll discuss the cardiac conduction system. So all of you might have thought, how does the heart beat, or how does your heart beat? So this is what we will discuss in the coming slides. So the heart possesses the property of autorhythmicity, which means it generates its own electrical impulses. So the heart is independent of any nervous system or any hormonal control, but the heart produces its own electricity or electrical impulse to cause a heartbeat. But there are nerve supply and also hormonal supply to the heart. But what does the nervous system or the hormone supply do is it causes increase or decrease in the intrinsic heart rate. So intrinsic heart rate is around 60 to 80 beats per minute. So that is even without hormonal or nervous control, there will be an intrinsic heart rate or a resting heart rate, that is 60 by 80 beats per minute. That is due to the autorhythmicity of the heart. So when there is some external factor like hormones such as adrenaline, when you are suddenly a dog attacks you and you get scared, you get feared, it can cause increase in heart rate. So that is because of the hormonal release which causes the increase in heart rate. But your basal or your normal heart rate or your resting heart rate remains at 60 to 80 beats per minute. And there are some small neuromuscular cells in the myocardium which causes or which initiates this impulse, and this impulse leads to a heartbeat. So the first neuromuscular cell in the heart is the sinoatrial node. So these specialized cells lie in the wall of the right atrium near the opening of the superior vena cava. So this SA node, if you want to locate an SA node, it is located in the right atrium, in the wall of the right atrium near the opening of the superior vena cava. The sinoatrial cell generates regular impulses because they are electrically unstable. So the main place from where the heartbeat starts, that is the sinoatrial node. It has the sinoatrial node has what? Unstable electrical impulses. So due to this unstable state, the SA node discharges impulses regularly at 60 to 80 times a minute. So if you look, the normal heart rate is 60 to 80 times a minute. So this unstable release or discharge of electric impulse is known as depolarization. So once after discharging, the cell goes into recovery. So it has to recover back to produce more impulse. So that stage is known as repolarization. So this depolarization and repolarization cycle, it creates the heart rate. So therefore, the sinoatrial node or the SA node is also known as the pacemaker of the heart. So pacemaker means it controls the speed. So what is the normal speed of a heartbeat? That is 60 to 80 beats per minute. So in this picture, you can see with the location of SA node. So this is where the SA node is located. So this is known as the SA node. So it is in the right atrium, close to the superior opening of the superior vena cava. The next neuromuscular cell, that is the atrioventricular node. So a mass of neuromuscular tissue situated in the wall of atrial septum near the AV valves. So this one is situated at the junction of the atrioventricular valves. So that is known as the atrioventricular node. So this AV node, what does it do? It receives signal from the SA node and transmit it to the ventricular region of the heart. So this AV node is also known as the secondary pacemaker of our heart. So if there is any problem with the SA node, then what happens? The AV node starts to create electrical impulses. But the rate at which AV node produces impulses is lesser than the rate of the SA node. Normally SA node produces impulses at the rate of 60 to 80, and the AV node produces impulse at the rate of 40 to 60 beats per minute. And the location of the AV node is near the atrioventricular valve. Okay, so from the AV node, the impulse goes into the atrioventricular bundle or the AV bundle, or it is also known as the bundle of His. So these are specialized fibers that originate from the AV node. At the ventricular septum, the AV bundle divides into right and left bundle branches. So right goes to the right side and the left goes to the left ventricle. Again, in the ventricle myocardium, the branches break into fine fibers called the Purkinje fibers. So the AV bundle branches and Purkinje fibers transmit impulse from the AV node to the apex of the myocardium, causing the ventricular contraction. Okay, so this is one shot or in a nutshell about the transmission of impulse through the heart. So first the impulse or electrical impulse start in the SA node. From the SA node it goes into the AV node. From the AV node it will go into the AV bundle or bundle of His, and from there it will go into the Purkinje fibers and it supplies the ventricles of the heart. So here there is a diagram in which we can see the transmission. So the transmission is from the sinoatrial node, go to the AV node, to the AV bundle, which will again divide into two parts, that is the right and the left bundle branches, and again it will go into the Purkinje fibers and the wall of the heart. So this is how an impulse is transmitted through the heart. So hope all of you understood this. So in this picture you can see the beating, external view of the heart beating. So this one, that is the atrial contraction. This part, the atrials are contracting, and the lower part, that is the ventricular contraction. So it all takes simultaneously but at different paces, and it's very difficult to differentiate between each of them. So in this diagram you can see the heart beating with the internal view. So if you look at here, in this we can see the upper portion, that is the atrial contraction. Here the atrial contraction takes place. When the atrium contracts, the blood is pumped into the ventricles, and when the ventricles contract, the blood is pumped into the pulmonary artery and the aorta. So this is what's happening when the heart is beating. So these are the factors that affect the heart rate. So as you can read The factors that affect the heart rate are gender, activity and exercise, age, temperature, circulating hormones, the baroreceptor reflex, and emotional states. So I'm not going to explain this for you. I'm giving it an assignment. So the assignment is explain in details the factors that affect the heart rate. Next we'll see the nerve supply to the heart. So the heart is supplied by the autonomic nerves, and these nerves originate from the cardiovascular center in the medulla oblongata. So this nerve supplies about the nervous system will be discussed in detail in later chapters. The vagus nerve, that is the parasympathetic, supplies mainly the SA and AB node on the atrial muscle. The sympathetic nerve supply the SA and AB node and also the myocardium of atria and the ventricles. So next we will discuss the cardiac cycle. So at rest, the healthy adult heart is likely to beat at a rate of 60 to 80 beats per minute. So one adult heart or normal heart rate is around how much? 60 to 80 beats per minute. And the sequence of events in single heartbeat is known as a cardiac cycle. So one cardiac cycle has two features, that is the systole and the diastole. When the heart contracts, it's called a systole, and when the heart relaxes, it's called a diastole. So this totally is known as the cardiac cycle. Each heartbeat is a cardiac cycle. So for example, if you take the heart rate as 74 beats per minute, each cardiac cycle usually lasts for about 0.8 seconds. It will consist of the three stages. So one is the atrial systole, second is the ventricular systole, and third is the complete cardiac diastole. As we already discussed, what is systole? Systole is the contraction of the heart. So atrial systole means there will be contraction of the atrium. Ventricular systole means there will be contraction of the ventricle. And complete cardiac diastole means all the ventricle and the atria will be relaxed. So for better understanding of the cardiac cycle, I have provided a link below, so you can visit the site in YouTube and you can watch the video regarding the cardiac cycle. So this is another picture which depicts a cardiac cycle. So in this case, you can see what happens. So first is the atrial systole, means the atrium is contracting. So when the atrium contracts, the blood will be pumped from the atria into the ventricles. Then is the ventricular systole, that means the ventricles are contracting. So at that time, the blood is pumped from the ventricles, from the left ventricle to go into the aorta, and from the right ventricle it will go into the pulmonary artery. And after that, complete cardiac diastole, in which the refilling of the atria takes place. So the heart sounds. So I hope everybody has heard heart sound, because in fundamentals of nursing you might have discussed about the heart sound and how to check the heartbeat. So we are not conscious about our own heart sounds, but if you put a stethoscope and check against our chest wall, we can hear our heartbeat. So in usual there are 4 heartbeats, but we can hear only 2 properly, and those 2 sounds will resemble lub and dub. So it will be beating like lub dub, lub dub. So lub is a sound due to the closure of the AV valves, and dub is due to the closure of the aortic and pulmonary valve. So we have discussed these valves. AV valves, 2 atrioventricular valves we have. One is the bicuspid, another one is the tricuspid. And the aortic and the pulmonary valve. Aortic valve is in the opening of the aorta, and pulmonary valve at the opening of the pulmonary artery. Again, for better understanding, I have put a YouTube link, so you can watch that for the heart sounds. Hope you have understood this small video on the circulatory system, the heart, the second part. So the links for the various topics are given in the description. Please click on it and see those videos for better understanding of particular topics. So have a nice day and see you all with the next part soon. Thank you.